Hello, mortals. New random thing I'm gonna call you, probably, maybe. I recorded this once and then I deleted it because it was really bad. And I guess I'll just record it again. This video is about life, death, and rebirth. Life, death, rebirth. It's also complex for the human vessel to comprehend. But today I will share my ideas in a non-religious perspective. So we are brought here to life and existence, and the world is just a place we have made in our minds. It's a world we created and chose to live. You are only able to control your own actions, as everybody else is an obstacle. I don't have my glasses, do I? That would probably be helpful. Obstacle to you and to your meaning of why you exist. We all have a reason / meaning for why we exist, and we will never know what it is / was until our mission is complete. So I feel when we are born on this earth, we are sent for us to complete a task or our meaning, like trying to think, like, I mean, it's hard to explain because right here it states, we all have a reason for why we exist, and we will never know what it is / was until we complete it. So we'll never be truly able to explain it. I won't be able to explain it perfectly in how I want to describe it, because everybody is set with a different mission. And yeah, I guess that's how I'd explain it. Once we complete our mission, our life has been fulfilled and we are brought into a better life in the next one, going into our rebirth part where we are brought into another life. If one doesn't complete our mission before time set, we die and have to go through the cycle once more in another life. Life, death, and rebirth is an endless cycle if you never complete the mission. Saying, if you see a circle, it's just always going back to the same point. You probably get what I mean, but I'm gonna draw it on paper. I mean, you know what? I'll just record me drawing it on paper because why not? We're very realistic here. I like to keep my content more realistic now and not just through cuts. I just feel one, that's probably because I'm a little I wouldn't say lazy, but I'm not incapable of being able to edit this. Like, I'm fully capable of doing that, but I refuse not to because I feel like if we have this more realistic style of content, it just makes it a little cleaner, in a sense. So I'm gonna draw a circle. This is probably not the best circle, so don't judge. It's actually a really good circle. You see that the circle, you can say, I feel like the lighting is really, not working. We'll turn a light on. Boop. Ow. Sorry. We're not really in the biggest room. What is creating such a shadow? What is creating such a shadow right there? That's what it is. It's a... Okay, so... Okay, that just made that less visible. Actually, that's a lie. Say the life is your circle. You say life start and then your life end is also there. So this is your life start and end at the very tippy top. Now, you have all this time about going around the circle to complete your mission. So you see it as complete mission. Now that second line around the circle just represents the amount of time you're given in a sense. And it's basically saying if you never complete it, you always go back to the start. You'll never, like, if you never complete something, you always go back to the start. Now, you could also be so ahead to the point where just nothing works. You know, like it's like a system breakdown in a sense. I don't know how to explain it. So that's how I would explain if you don't complete. So let me just write non-complete life. And if you complete your mission, life is either a spiral or a line that keeps growing outwards because you keep progressing further and forward with better lives. Now, how I'm going to explain that is the start of your life, let's just say, is that little dot right there. You see that dot? Okay. And once you finish around that, you always start to spiral around it because you're always going to grow outwards or progressing in a sense. Whereas in a circle, you always end up back to that same point, but in a spiral, you just keep going on and on and on, you know? It just happens, and we're just going to say start life, and then we'll just put an arrow around it just to represent better. So you see how life starts at that dot, and you always just keep going around and around if you complete your mission. Now, I also explained it as a line. Now, I don't know if it's... I forgot what it's considered in math, but if your line just keeps going outwards in one way, you know what I mean, like that way. Life starts again at this dot. Life start. So your life starts right there, right? And the line keeps going outwards as you progress to get better lives. I just feel like the line just doesn't represent it as nicely, because I feel like the line represents more of just this very non-static life. You know what I mean? Like, it's a line. It can keep going forward. Like, the line can keep going, but it always just stays a line. It always just stays straight. Like, Whereas if it's a spiral, it just keeps going outwards and outwards. It's just more representative of what I'm thinking. So, yeah. I like to think of that as how complete life is like. So yeah, with like my handwriting, I feel like it's very. Some teachers don't like my cursive. I'm like, you guys know cursive? I mean, you're the teachers, we're the students. You guys got taught cursive. Some of us didn't. I was one of the last classes to get taught. Now, the thing with the circle is you can always start a spiral from it. The only way to accomplish that is if you finish your first mission. So, I'm going to show you what I mean by the nice thing with the circle. We have a circle there at the bottom. You see that circle? Now, you can always start a spiral outwards from it. It can always start to just go outwards. See? That's where the circle was. That's where the incomplete life was. We're just going to shade that in. I'm going to half-ass shade that. Non-complete life. And then as it grows outwards, it's a complete life. Because it keeps on growing. You know what I mean, right? You should. So yeah, that's that. I feel as this is the best I can represent into that. But we're not done with the script. I still got a little bit left on the script. Yes, I did write this in my school computer in the middle of, what was it, study hall? I think I did it in the middle of study hall because I had no homework. Now this is a nice way to put death. Instead of grieving a loss, you can think of it as them finishing their mission in this lifetime and moving to a better rebirth. Always I also think it's nice to think that all the people in your life that people keep telling you are toxic, everybody is an obstacle to your mission, in a sense. Everybody, drama, just in general. Let's just put drama in general. That term is a distraction to your mission. And at the end of the day, you may think of it as their fault once you don't complete your mission and you get stuck in this circle, but realistically, it's not their fault, as their mission is to slow down your mission, and if they don't complete that, then they fail. So, it's a hard concept. Even for me to comprehend when I was writing this, I was very confused. So yeah, very, very complex concept, and I think it's a nice way to think about life, death, and rebirth. Anyways, I just wanted to share a concept idea I had with y'all. Love each and every one of you immortals. That's not, you guys are immortals because you don't live forever without a beginning or a start. Because again, we have life, death, and rebirth. Tying it back to the beginning. I love each and every one of y'all, and until next time, stay safe, and I will see you soon. So soon.